don't play on that piano, because I don't want to wake them spirits.
You feel that? That's your family.
Denzel.
Yes.
You must be very proud of these people. Look what they did. You're committed to adapting the August Wilson plays, The American Century Cycle. The first three, why were they the first three?
Biggest box office in theater.
Okay.
Yeah, just business decision.
So, do you know what the fourth one is going to be?
Yes.
What is it?
The fourth one.
Yeah.
I tell you the writer.
Number 4. And are you?
Tell you the writer.
Who is the writer? August Wilson.
Wilson.
So are you committed to doing all 10?
That's the plan. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So John David, I'm going to ask you, tell us why your brother Malcolm was the right guy to direct this right now.
I love how we see stories. Every time we talk about films and what to look at and what to consider when discussing films, you know, he makes you want to go in the lab and study. You know, he has a great sense of detail and knows how to explain it in a way for laymen's like myself. So it's you know, he's inclusive in the way he directs and the way he sees film. And he made me feel like I was a part of something different for something that's very important, a story like this, in August Wilson's words. And he wanted to break it in a way and deliver something that's intergenerational, which August Wilson writes. He writes intergenerationally. I think he writes specifically for an American experience. And Malcolm's vision and his experience in his own life, what brought him to this project, I couldn't wait to find out why. And I found out why on that screen.
So Malcolm, you and Virgil and the producers, you all had to crack this and turn it from a play into a movie. And tell me how you did that and what were the challenges there?
It was us and everybody you see on stage, but there's a lot of people that you don't see that were part of this, that poured themselves into it. One of them is here, Leslie Jones, our editor. She's tucked in here. She's iconic editor.
Can we get another chair?
Yeah.
Leslie.
No, she doesn't.
Won't come up?
No. But I talk to Leslie every day in the cutting room, like, I'm gonna start a podcast. You're gonna talk about. She was like, absolutely not. There's no chance. But I'm glad that you're here, and Samuel L. Jackson and Danielle Deadweiler and Corey Hawkins and Ray Fisher. So many people poured themselves into it, and I think that's how we were able to get this thing, because this is a film made by a community that really came together to honor something bigger than ourselves. You know, it required all of us to give all that we had to it, and I think that that's what made it work in this medium is the love and dedication that we put into it, but also a respect that we had for the medium itself. Virgil and I come from visual arts, you know, from television and film, and that's what we love, and we wanted to communicate this wonderful work in that way and lean into genre and add more things to it and make something that could communicate to newer audiences, to younger audiences, so that they can see themselves in the work.
So Virgil, go ahead with that and also explain what kind of debates did you have about how to handle the spiritual, supernatural, ghost story aspects of this?
All kinds of debates. I mean, I think you start with fear, reverence, and then you sort of wash that down with discipline, and you put your butt in the seat, and you apply consistency over time, and you do the work. Is the first part of the cracking that really happens. We immediately agreed on the ghost story of it all. Part of that initial cracking process really does have to do with identifying where the pockets of what I've been calling cinematic availability are. And in that genre stuff, there's a lot resides in that genre stuff. Because in the play, much of it happens off stage. So there are opportunities for us to open and go upstairs and have Boy Willie engage with this ghost in a way that you can do in film. We looked at the genre stuff, in a pacing sense. How do you sort of dole it out? You don't show the monster at the top of the movie. You have to build. There's a sort of tension that has to build. We were very vigilant about that. And we tried to get in where we could fit in. We tried to sort of, I keep calling it, we tried to IMP it. IMP put those pyramids in the middle of the Louvre. And he let more light in, and he accommodated for more crowds, because the need for that structure had changed. Its uses had changed, and that's what we were trying to do, is leave this behind for future generations. This is why we changed the ending a bit, because a good ending promises a new beginning. And this is about that Maritha, we'll keep playing this piano, and this is a promise of the future. Where'd you learn that? And we cut to this man out in that field. We understand that he's going to keep pursuing his own agency in the world. It's not this land but we understand that he's going to keep doing that. We understand that Bernice is going to keep teaching and embracing and nurturing the playing of the piano. So, there was these areas that we tried to look at and get in where we fit in and work. And the beginning is another place where we really leaned into that.
And visualizing the themes that were in there.
Could do flashbacks.
Yeah, you can do, but even more than that, you can do imaginings. You can do what do these get into the interior life of them? What do they hope to be? What do they want? And visualize that. There's an incredible theme through here of Black American reclamation. So how do we do that? Okay, we start July 4th, red, white, and blue with a theft. Like, how can you tell a story of America without a theft? That's how we start. That is that framework and that reframing that contextualizes the rest of what you see. And I think that the opportunities to do that in this format was really exciting.
So, John David, you had been in the play, and there's a story I heard that Samuel Jackson was forbidden to help you. Tell me about this.
Well, I'm not a snitch, but yeah, he wasn't, for public record, yeah, he didn't help me. But, there's so many different responsibilities from the play to the film. There's heavy monologues in the play, and you get to know exactly who this Boy Willie character is, particularly in the end, the last monologue. So in the film, however, you get to use some of those words that not necessarily say, but you get to use them in your behavior. You get to use them in the way you listen. So I thought that was a great opportunity to explore that and see new meaning to what I kind of blueprinted out from the play. And his struggle with spirituality, his abandonment issues, his anthropomorphic relationships with his tools and his craft of being a farmer. I think those are all, very interesting and great to play. But I now get to sort of 3D them for the movie. It was a great opportunity.
So, Todd, you have, by my count, and I could be wrong, you've produced about 12, maybe 11 of Denzel's movies over time. Have you ever? It's a lot.
Makes me too old. I don't count.
So, what were the challenges as a producer on this film? What did you have to contend with and take care of and protect?
The thing that Denzel and I have learned from Fences to Ma Rainey to the piano lesson is honoring August's words and vision as closely as we can while still trying to give the cinematic experience that the director's going for. And with Malcolm, we got to work with somebody so fresh and had such a clear vision coming into it. There weren't a lot of issues, quite frankly. Denzel and I were like, damn, he really has a handle on what he's doing. And the crew, our production designer, David Bamba, our costume, everybody knew, literally everybody, including our great editor, knew what he was going for. He was so clear in his vision and consistent. Really, really consistent from the day we talked to sitting here today. He's never changed his vision. And I think as a producer, you dream about getting a writer-director no less, that is like that, because it does make your job easier. Not that it's ever easy producing anything, but with Malcolm, it wasn't difficult, honestly. It was actually wonderful, and it was a treat every day, and being on set every day was kind of magic. We had civilized hours for the most part, and Malcolm treated the crew and the cast and everybody incredibly well. He's such a pro. I wonder where he got that from. And it was a great experience. It really was one of my best movie-going experiences I've ever had in my career.
Wow. So, Alexandre, is this period Pittsburgh? What are we looking at here? How do you marry all these different tones? It goes from, people fighting to the death to real comedy, and I love that musical interlude with the men singing that great song.
Well, I guess Malcolm, when he came to me, we had this discussion about the piano, because it's called a piano lesson, and a composer can say no to a movie called a piano lesson. And then we discussed about the piano, because it's in the room. It's like, it's the ghost, or the place where all the ghosts are hidden. And we decided there would be no piano in the score. And of course, we used the piano. First piece I wrote, there was piano. But we decided that when we were in the house, we wouldn't hear the piano, at least not clearly, not as a melody or something that you can, describe as being a piano, because we had to wait until the moment when Daniel Bernice put her fingers on the keys. I've written a few scores. I've worked a lot in theater, and it's not always successful because sometimes, directors are afraid of losing what was the play. But Malcolm had this great intelligence of opening, pushing the walls, the roof, going outside, and creating space around that stage. And that's also a blessing for the composer, because you can also fly away, out, come back, sneak in, listen to the dialogue. What can I do here? Let them speak. Maybe I can enter later. So it was things we tried with Malcolm, I think, but he was very open-minded, and that's rather rare.
I'm really curious about the belief in the supernatural, that this was the absolute essential thing that had to be in this story to break it open. And do you believe in it? Do you?
In the supernatural?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things.
Conjuring.
Yeah, it's a lot of different things. Like, I think in our story and in our culture, moreover, we have these things as this duppies, ghost story. There's these hauntings that exist that all connect to the spirit itself. So in film, we get to play in genre, we get to play with tropes, but what all of that is kind of just on the surface, and what we're really talking about is a spiritual grounding and ungrounding, right? Like, we're talking about the spirit. We're talking about our spiritual belief system. And that's what I think is so wonderful about the film, because it starts as this ghost story that's something that you might be familiar with, but it ends in tongues, it ends in laying hands, it ends in the ancestors coming to you and breaking down that barrier of the physical realm and the metaphysical and all that came before you. All of that is present now. So it's using this idea of genre, or this idea of haunting and spirit, but I mean, this idea of haunting, but talking about spirit.
All right, I'm going to let you all go. Thank you very much.